Part 17. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 163. Chapter 163, Savage Fighting Field. Everyone. Wei Suo only looked at the secret place for a moment. The old man with the mung bean eyelid robes welcomed Dongqing II and Xuanhuan into the front row of vacancies and walked to Wei Suo and others. After saying hello, the old man who seems to be the secret place manager is watching Wei Suo and Tianfengzi say, there are two pairs of cultivators in front of them, and they should start right away. Since the two are the heads of our Dong young master, they can be in the VIP seats next to them. I have arranged the following for the two. /P. Nangong looking fortunately, Han Weiwei, who hasn't seen a lot of bloody scenes, is very pretty. It is clear that this Iron Blood Hall is the closest VIP seat to the nearest shapeshift great art platform. Tianfengzi sneered at a surging sound at this time. Without saying anything, he walked toward Dongqing II and Xuanhuan. Wei Suo did not move the surging sound color and looked at the old man in the leather robe and asked, this predecessor is still the first time to come to this Iron Blood Hall. What is the rule of Iron Blood Hall? I don't know. No explanation. The rules of our Iron Blood Hall are no rules. The old scalp in the leather robe laughed and walked with Wei Suo, and said, in that platform, you can use any means to deal with the opponent, but before you win or lose, it's best not to touch the divine light screen. Because the mask's powerful energy equivalent to Thought Division Realm 4th layer cultivation base cultivator's shapeshift great art has a strong rebound force, if you want to wear it, it will be injured. /P. Oh. Wei Suo glanced at the almost completely transparent divine light screen. The mask should have no effect on the shapeshift great art, including the treasure receiving pocket, the slave bag, etc. /P. Nature has no effect. This divine light screen is just to prevent the shapeshift great art and the shapeshift great art from flying on both sides of the shapeshift great art. In addition, the two sides are limited to the area of (0 feet, so that the two can be faster. It just a victory, he old man in the leather robes explained, but if it is a mask shift great art that covers 100 feet, it will be affected. What else is the vulnerable shapeshift great art, and don't rush to the divine light screen. /P. Wei Suo nodded and sank slightly. He concealed a layer of cultivation base, which is actually Heavenly Circuit Realm 3rd layer cultivation base, plus some of the more than 20 days of refining some heaven mending pellets, although it is less than Earth level mid-level, but at least it has already been Earth level low grade is quite a lot. Tianfengzi is the Heavenly Circuit Realm 2nd layer cultivation base, and the Mystic level high level is the shapeshift great art. On the cultivation base, Wei Suo is far Tianfengzi. As for the body of things, Wei Suo have 6 Yang Divine Fire Pitchfork and other things, should be a Xuan, he is now considering, is the use of what things, it is best not to expose their own pressure at the bottom of things, but also do not put 6 Yang Divine Fire Pitchfork. This kind of iconic shapeshift great art great violent reveals, or even if you kill Tianfengzi, then there will be a very great treasure trouble. At this point, I saw only the divine light screen flashing, suddenly disappearing, and a thicker bloody spurt. And the black cultivator on the platform was not put back into a channel below the platform, and disappeared quickly. Soon, 2 more cultivators came out of the passage. The 2 cultivators are the cultivation base of the Divine Sea Realm 5th layer. One of the cultivators is wearing a cyan leather shapeshift great art, 27-year-old face, and a great treasure on the back. The bat rune is very well proportioned and looks like a lust. The other cultivator wore a black essence metal chain, squeaking around, 30 years old, with a thin face and a very embarrassed look on his face. 2 knife-shaped eyebrows flew into the shackles. Once inside the platform, the divine light screen reappears, apparently controlled by the shapeshift great art's divine light screen, also controlled by the Eastern Jade Paradise cultivator in the temple. Iron Blood Hall is open to all cultivators in 7-star city, but if the cultivator of Divine Sea Realm 4th layer wants to earn spiritual stones, we can also arrange for the opponent. Get 500 pieces of spiritual stones. The winning side, in addition to the shapeshift great art on the other side, can receive 1000 more spiritual stones. Like these two are cultivators that didn't know each other before, just to earn spiritual stones. This time, the old man in the leather robes opened up, but he remembered what it was like. Intercourse was waiting for Wei Suo and Tianfengzi. After you enter, you must wait for the disciple in our hall to announce the beginning before you can start, but each defense shapeshift great art and shapeshift great art shield, it does not matter. This is the only rule of our Iron Blood Hall, because both sides of the shapeshift great art must give the cultivator to the betting time. /P. Between the old man in the leather robe, the two cultivators in the field really just started to defend the shapeshift great art. The cultivator wearing the cyan bat pattern shapeshift great art spurred a cyan mask and cast a half-spirit rank copper shield. And the face of the extreme cultivator chain armor, but is the two sides of the spirit rank of the Xian Tai Dun, respectively, guarding the front and back, after the cultivator and stimulated a red jade talisman, saw a wall of fire appeared in front of him not far secret place, the flames, the above stands are clear, but from the green-robed cultivator position, I am afraid that there is no shapeshift great art across the firewall to see the next chain cultivator action. In the stands, at least dozens of Eastern Jade Paradise's disciples are flying fast and accepting bets. In the field of the chain cultivator face is ugly, because with Wei Suo and Tianfengzi entry, plus Herd Xi and Yalan and Dong King II each bet a giant note, a time to come to see the lively cultivator, at least **100, the dozens of Eastern Jade Paradise disciple temporarily even some busy, looks like at least one stick of incense of time to let two people start fighting shapeshift great art. And his firewall character can only last for a stick of incense time. From the lust shape at the moment, his firewall character is simply to be wasted. Some cultivators may not be able to resist early shots, but he is coming to earn spiritual stones. If he violates the rules of Iron Blood Hall, even if he wins, Iron Blood Hall must also deduct the great treasure pen. Spiritual stones. I am doing it. How come you come in so many people at once? /P. This is not a white wall loss, Mother Hammer, don't look at lust again. /P. For a time, some of the cultivators that had been bet on the stage were also screaming at the great treasure surging sound. Some eye-catching cultivators have already recognized Dong King II and others, knowing that there is definitely something different than the ordinary shapeshift great art will be born. Alright. As the disciple of an Eastern Jade Paradise in the stands disengaged, almost at the moment when the firewall went out, a surging sound of the crisp clock sounded through the entire Iron Blood Hall. At this time, Wei Suo saw the middle of the top of the Temple of Great Treasure, hanging a cyan shapeshift great art clock. Go to death. At the same time as the clock surging sound, the ugly chain cultivator stretched out, and a light and shadow flashed, and it had already hit the copper shield in front of the green shirt cultivator. Alright. The spirit of the cultivator in the stands was all in full swing. Saw a copper shield on the spark splash, there was a groove, very obvious chain cultivator out of this piece of shapeshift great art, the power than the average half-spirit rank shapeshift great art, and this piece shapeshift great art secret place is very amazing, incredibly near teleport general, clatter excited, almost great treasure half cultivator did not see exactly what is a thing. The green shirt cultivator flashed in the eyes, but it was a white talisman without any fuss. I saw a thick fog filled the whole platform in an instant, and all the cultivators in the stands looked from the top, but they were faintly visible. After the name of the talisman, the name of the green shirt cultivator kept changing its orientation. Approaching the pass towards the chain cultivator. Dang! A group of sparks exploded, the green shirt cultivator instantly reached the left side of the chain cultivator, a cold light accurately penetrated from the two sides of the mysterious iron shield that almost covered each other, strangled in the chain at the waist of the cultivator. While the sparks burst, the chain cultivator waist light collapses. Hong. A burst of great treasures exclaiming sound of surging sound, at the same time, awkward, the chain cultivator hand light and shadow is a flash, but it is also close to the edge of the copper shield. The smashing of a surging sound puncture the spirit light defense outside the green shirt cultivator turned out to be the same as cutting the radish, and cut the left arm of the green shirt cultivator that could not be avoided. However, the face of the green shirt cultivator did not seem to change, the right hand almost extended at the same time, 3 black arrows whistling out from the right hand sleeve, from the wound of the chain cultivator waist, into the naked body. Chain cultivator fierce a stiff. Then the time seemed to be stagnant. In the silence of the audience, the surging sound, the cultivator wearing a black chain, fell to the ground. I saw the one-armed green shirt cultivator did not stop at the opponent body for a while, then made a gesture. At the moment when the divine light screen disappeared, he no longer looked like a lust, and picked up his own arm on the ground and disappeared into the passage that came in. Meet a monk. Seeing such a lust scene, many of the people who originally won the cultivator in the stands, under the change of the number of faces, are also just a little cold in their hearts. Judging from the lust shape of the talent, this green shirt cultivator is actually deliberately killing the opponent at the expense of one arm. He broke the opponent's chain with a shapeshift great art device. At this moment, he used his arm to attract the opponent to fight back without adjusting the shapeshift great art shield position. And the last blow to kill the chain cultivator is not even a shapeshift great art, but a powerful machine arm. This unexpected means, but the cultivator present was shocked. And while looking at his appearance, it should be possible to have a spicy herb in the hand that can connect the broken limb. But such a very ruthless calculation, instantly killing the opponent, but it is really chilling. Silent, /p. After the old Tutu Tut Tut praised a surging sound, he nodded to Wei Suo and Tianfengzi, the next two are playing. 0.55 Path to Heaven Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 164. Chapter 164 Human-Faced Cold Ice Spider. Hung. Tianfengzi Heavy's cold smashed a surging sound, didn't look at Wei Suo, and the blue light flashed outside, and it vacated and plunged into the bloody black iron platform. With the wind, mystic level high levels flying shift great art. Heavenly Circuit Realm Cultivator, or Heavenly Circuit Realm Second Layer Cultivator. There is a good show here. There is a well-known cultivator in the stands, and there seems to be a shapeshift great art with aura determining technique. It instantly shows Tianfengzi's flying shift great art and the true Yuan cultivation base with naked body. Wei Suo, be careful of yourself. Nangong looking some worried intercourse stayed with Wei Suo. Be sure to play this guy even if his mother doesn't know it. I didn't know that he was not pleasing to the eye. On the cultivation base of Heavenly Circuit Realm second layer, it would look like this Hanwei Wei is cold-skinned against Wei Suo for such a surging sound. Compared with Tianfengzi, Wei Suo got a lot of low-key when he got on the court. He slowly took the platform. This guy looks so bad, there is nothing in his body, and he definitely can't beat me. As soon as I saw Wei Suo on the court, I just took a burly cultivator wearing armor from Tianfengzi, and I was proud of the great treasure surging sound. That's not necessarily, this is also a Heavenly Circuit Realm cultivator, and can buy the 5-color stone at the auction. The home is definitely extraordinary. Moreover, he was hummed with the young master of Golden Eagle Palace. He didn't have the strength. How dare you do this? I see that you must have lost this time. But a cultivator next to it immediately expressed disagreement. This disagreement was actually started by Li Honglin and asked Wei Suo to match the cultivator that was not worthy of Nangong looking. Golden Eagle Palace? Are you saying that this is my Golden Eagle Palace? Then you must have lost. The burly cultivator heard it, but it was haha great treasure. I said, brother, do you have a brain? Golden Eagle Palace is not the Spirit Peak City, the sect of the monster beast, the heavenly circuit realm master of the Golden Eagle Palace. I am sure that I have a monster beast. This is not a top 2. You actually said that I have to suffer. You see, this guy is so smart, I can't think of this. The cultivator, who has been watching the lively disdain, has a surging sound. It's definitely not a mistake to see him in his chest. Anyway, I am absolutely optimistic about this person. What is the use of the light look table lust, just the fierce evil, still not fixed by the other party's surging sound color? The burly cultivator said, brother, don't worry, listen to me, a surging sound, and buy more of this Golden Eagle Palace, so you can earn it back. Passing the cultivator and smashing a surging sound, you have to buy yourself and buy it. If you don't listen to me, you still have to persuade me to go with you. How can you be so brainy? The burly cultivator is a bit of a fire. Would you like me to bet with you? Bet on bet, afraid of you passing, the cultivator disdainfully said. All right, the burly cultivator haha smiled. It's too sad to talk about spiritual stones. If anyone loses, he will be streaking here. Great treasure, shouts 3 surging sound. I am wrong, I am a pig. How nice. Still afraid of you, ah? Through the cultivator, cried, that's it? Kid, if you are obediently kneeling at me at the moment, if you have 9 heads, I might spare you a life at this time. Tian Fengzi on the platform looked at Wei Suo with a chilly look, and a flat face was extremely cloudy. Really? If I did this, would you spare me a life? Wei Suo immediately said that he was golden. Do you speak really? His reaction made Tian Fengzi glance. Mandarin Chinese profanity #vagina, but Wei Suo suddenly changed his face and spit out 2 words. You. Tian Fengzi almost jumped up. However, Wei Suo has already treated him as a pig secret place, and he started to defend the shapeshift great art from his own. A thick, door-like, and great treasure, the red-colored shapeshift great art shield, suspended in front of Wei Suo's. He knows that Tianfeng's most great treasure is the true spirit class shapeshift great art great treasure, so this can withstand the spirit rank shapeshift great art great treasure impact. Spirit rank red shield, of course, is a must. Subsequently, Wei Suo sacrificed the golden sunflower shield that was close to spirit rank and blocked it behind. Although this gold sunflower shield is from the elite disciple of Yue Huazong, it is not the exclusive shapeshift great art of Yue Huazong. There are quite a few heavenly profound continent. At this moment, there should be no problem with great treasure. Next, Wei Suo is still not satisfied, because the strongest divine light screen type shapeshift great art artifact spirit is the unique thing of Yu Huasong, so he didn't dare to use it at the moment, but he was continually excited. 2 conflicting semi-spirit rank divine light screens. Nah. These are extremely common things in Wei Suo. They are not his strongest defense, but these things are successively sacrificed, but the cultivator in the stands is stunned, so that the confidence of the beginning is full of Tianfeng's burly. The cultivator is also a bit dumbfounded. After all, the great treasure in the stands is just the Divine Sea Realm cultivator. For the Divine Sea Realm cultivator, a gold vine shield close to spirit rank is a rare thing, not to mention the real spirit rank shapeshift great art shield. The guy has a lot of things xi, and Yalan under the stands is also a glimmer of look in the eyes. And Dongking II is a surging sound with a slight coldness. Tianfeng's face was a bit cloudy. I saw that he first provoked a golden mask, and then sacrificed a long cyan great treasure flag. The flag was flowing with blue light and embroidered with a huge giant treasure. Green flag. This is also the defense of Shapebit great art great treasure in spirit rank. Some of the cultivators who had taken Tianfengzi in the stands were also surprised to call the surging sound. Nangong Yuking suddenly sinks into his heart. Unexpectedly, in addition to a spirit rank shapeshift great art great treasure, Tianfengzi has a real spirit rank defense shapeshift great art great treasure. 1 attack and 1 defense, 2 spirit rank shapeshift great art great treasure, with the cultivation base control of heavenly circuit realm 2nd layer, the strength is enough to deal with the ordinary heavenly circuit realm 4th layer cultivator without spirit scale shapeshift great art great treasure it is. On the platform, as True Yuan continues to intrude, a strip of Cyan's spiritual chi flies out from the flag, forming a 2-foot-long Cyan, hovering over Tianfeng's around the body, head to Weisuo, a pair of people who want to swallow Weisuo. Weisuo didn't move the surging sound to look at this glaucoma that was many times larger than his great treasure. It seems that this glaucoma should be out of the range of the Qingyuan flag without shapeshift great art. It should be just a pure defense of shapeshift great art great treasure. After the sacrifice of this green flag, Tianfengzi did not provoke other defenses of the shapeshift great art, but pinched a chicken-like white shapeshift great art great treasure in his hand. This shapeshift great art great treasure is a white ice fog visible to the naked eye. It is obviously the shapeshift great art great treasure snow and ice that Nangong Yuking said to Weisuo, which is made from the claws of the level 6 monster beast. Scissors. Huh. How does the female cultivator grow a flat face like you, is it your mother? Suddenly, Weisuo pointed a finger at the stands. Tianfengzi turned her head subconsciously, but only saw a disciple of an Eastern Jade Paradise in the stands making a gesture. This is not good, Tianfengzi brows a fierce jump, hurriedly waved the green flag, Cyan Giant's squad immediately hovered and he was surrounded by the group. At this moment, when a surging sound, the clock surging sound in the Iron Blood Hall sounded, a black light had been spurred out of Weisuo's hands and hit the Cyan Giant. The black light almost shot the Cyan Giant, but when it was worn, it was exhausted and it flew back into Weisuo's hands. It was the black arrow of Weisuo. Spirit rank attacks the shapeshift great art. There is really a good show. Heavenly Circuit Realm's modified shapeshift great art is really not comparable to the Divine Sea Realm cultivator. The stand was suddenly awkward. Kid, I said why you are so arrogant. It turned out to be relying on these 2 things, but you can rest assured that I will let you taste what is better than death. At the moment, Tianfengzi calmed down. Between the words, the snow and ice scissors in their hands had a surging sound, which hit the Weisuo's red shield. Sure enough, the best spirit rank protection shapeshift great art shield. In the stand of the surging sound, Tianfengzi's snow and ice scissors were easily blocked by the red shield, and there appeared to be no signs of damage on the shield. But Weisuo is actually a little dignified and sinking. This snow and ice scissors may be because of the strange shape. When flying in the air, the scattered white light will form a scissors-like shape, and flying in the air is not a straight line for attacking shapeshift great art great treasure. You can draw an arc and attack each other's sides. This allowed Tianfengzi to carefully adjust the orientation of the red turtle shield every time he attacked, and although there were many fire power chi on the red turtle shield, the ice and cold on the snow and ice scissors. However, it was too strong, and the spiritual chi on the red turtle shield was obviously suppressed, and it was a bit sluggish. Between the slight flashes of vision, Tianfengzi's snow and ice scissors spurred again, while a slave bag appeared in the hands of Tianfengzi. Human-faced cold ice spider. Level 5 low-grade monster beast. With the flash of intuition, a small white giant spider with a half-desktop great treasure appeared in the sight of all the cultivators present. The white giant spider has a lot of ice ribs on his body, and a head is full of facial features, which looks like a white old woman. When I saw this white giant spider, Xian Yalan's gaze was also one of them, while Dong King Ai on the side, there was a fascinating look in the eyes. Level 5 low grades monster beast, the strength itself has been equivalent to a heavenly circuit realm 2nd layer cultivator. In addition to the human-faced cold ice spider, the squirting spider silk and mucus have the effect of binding the shapeshift great art great treasure. This is the human-faced cold ice spider. As soon as it was released, it was simply to 2 Wei Fengs to play a Weisuo. Pu. Weisuo, who had turned the dark turtle shield to block the snow and ice scissors, was a white talisman. I saw a white cloud of mist filled out, and instantly wrapped Weisuo around the body 20 feet, it was just an ordinary rank 2 cloud. Is this guy wrong? This time, even the Weisuos who passed the cultivator was stunned. This kind of fog haze is generally used to escape, and there is not much defense at all. The human-faced cold ice spider's stimulating ice cone rain can also cover a few dozen feet. As soon as it is hit, these fogs are completely dispelled. Point 55 You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 165. Chapter 165 True Man. Shiu. A strange screaming surging sound was immediately issued in the mouth of the human-faced cold ice spider. A piece of white frozen gas was constantly flowing over the top of Weisuo's head, and it was about to see a cone of ice falling. But at this time, it seems that there is a roar of the great treasure river, and the white spirit fog suddenly reveals the brilliance of the 8 purple divine sea. Hey, at the same time, it seems that there is an invisible water pattern blasting on Tianfeng's head. Tianfeng's naked body bowed like a shrimp, holding his head in both hands, and screaming in disappointment. Divine Consciousness Stab. This is the Divine Consciousness class shock surgery shapeshift great art. 8 Divine C. He is not the cultivator of Heavenly Circuit Realm 2nd layer at all, it is the cultivator of Heavenly Circuit Realm 3rd layer. He is a sharpshift great art with a hidden cultivation base. At this moment, the whole Iron Blood Hall was in a state of utter disappointment, and even Dong King Ai, who was still somewhat proud, suddenly changed his face. How could he fix the Heavenly Circuit Realm 3rd layer so quickly? Li Honglin lost the surging sound and screamed. Oh! I heard Li Honglin's scream, and Xuanhuan, who is looking at Weisuo's position at the moment, is full of laughter and laughter. Almost as soon as Tianfengzi screamed with his head, a black light spurted out of the white fog, making a hole in the cyan shackled outside Tianfengzi. Immediately, a bronze spike passed through the hole that was not compensated by the Tianfengzi controls without the shapeshift great art, and hit the golden divine light screen outside of Tianfengzi. Kaka, a surging sound, a crack appeared on the divine light screen, but it did not break for a while, and it resisted the bronze spike. Unfortunately, seeing such a scene, many cultivators in the stands are sorry for the sigh of a surging sound. As long as this bronze-colored spike-like shapeshift great art is powerful and energy-rich, not to kill Tianfengzi, it will at least be a big hit. Kid, I want to kill you. At the same time, Tianfengzi also issued a fierce surging sound, which seems to have recovered. But at this time, what almost cultivator didn't think of was that the front of the bronzed nail was actually spurred by a small nail. Surging sound of pierced the mask and broke into the front chest of Tianfengzi. Bloodlight. Tianfengzi's name is Surging Sound. The spirit light great treasure on the front of the green flag was lost, falling from the air, and the clawed cyan giant clam disappeared. All the cultivators discovered that the wound on the chest of Tianfengzi didn't look great treasure, but it was the location of the heart arteries. A Heavenly Circuit Realm 2nd layer cultivator with a level 5 monster beast battle was instantly killed by the other party. Pay papa pa. Until then, the ice cone rain that the human-faced cold ice spider ignited just fell. You actually killed Tianfengzi. Weisuo, you are dead. Our Golden Eagle Palace will definitely break you down. Li Honglin saw no breath at all when she saw Tianfengzi. After staying for a while, she screamed insanely. Why, is your Golden Eagle Palace publicly clamoring to kill my inner sect disciples? Do you want to declare war with our Spirit Beast Palace? Do you think your palace is more precious than our palace? If so, I don't care if I kill 2 people at Golden Eagle Palace. But Xuanhuan's surging sound sneered, but the whole person of Li Honglin froze. The white ice cones, which are long and long, fall like rain, and the white mist is immediately swept away by the frozen air. In the dissipated fog, Wei Suo, who heard Li Honglin's screaming surging sound, but the faceless lust blocked the red armor shield over the top of the head, easily blocking the falling ice cone. The coldness around him seems to have little effect on him. Wei Suo, who has been alone in the cultivation world of the jungle, since the age of 13, is naturally inevitably with a very ruthless breath like a wolf. And Tianfengzi is here in the intercourse, and the Liang'er of the Golden Eagle Palace has been officially settled. As long as there is an opportunity, the Golden Eagle Palace will definitely remove him without hesitation. Under this lust shape, you must first remove the Golden Eagle Palace, a senior elder character. I am doing it. The burly cultivator in the stands screamed at the small eyes of the bronze bell. Unexpectedly, Tianfengzi was killed by the other party after a face-to-face. Now the human-faced cold ice spider has lost control and is already fighting instinctively with Wei Suo. A level 5 low-grade monster beast, and a heavenly circuit realm 3rd layer, and a spirit rank attack on the shapeshift great art, the spirit rank shapeshift great art cultivator singled out. The result is already very obvious. Sure enough, I saw Wei Suo's figure, but it was a sigh of relief, a surging sound under the foot, rolling out a blazing fire cloud, sweeping the surrounding cold. Fire cloud escape. Good guy, earth level mid-level shapeshift great art. The cultivator who knew the goods in the stands was called out. Wei Suo, who was lifted off, unhurriedly presented a golden squid-like shapeshift great art. A surging sound of call, a pair of golden squid shapeshift great art in Wei Suo's hand flew out, a white spider with mucus and chili sprayed from the mouth of the human-faced cold ice spider. Go up. But this golden squid shapeshift great art was suddenly divided into hundreds of golden lights, hitting the human-faced cold ice spider from all sides, and the spider was very miserable. Hey! The black arrow spurted out of Wei Suo's hand, and the neck of the human-faced cold ice spider, which had no resistance at the moment. Human-faced cold ice spider immediately stunned, this level 5 low-grade monster beast, even the monster core did not have time to squirt, and also like the master, Wei Suo a face to easily kill. Not to mention Nangong Yuking, even Han Weiwei's eyes are full of surprises. Although she feels that Wei Suo has no problem with Tianfengzi, she did not expect it to be so easy. It is not like the same level of cultivator. Duel. Not only was the person killed, but even the monster beast that was kept was killed by Wei Suo. This Tianfengzi's human-faced cold ice spider is already among the top monster beasts in the Golden Eagle Palace, and is even stronger than the one-winged four-wing cream that Li Honglin has. But what makes Li Honglin even more vomiting is that after killing the human-faced cold ice spider, Wei Suo went up and directly added the human-faced cold ice spider to the treasure receiving pocket, and then the front too. Like the cultivator, the trophy of the body of Tianfengzi was checked. I saw that Wei Suo was ruthless, and all the things in Tianfengzi were all in the bag. All right. The glamorous Xuanhuan laughed at the great treasure without a ladylike style. In fact, she and Dong King Ai have been against each other, not only because Dong King Ai's Iron Blood Hall is completely imitating her Beast Valley, but also the most important reason is that Dong King Ai is a very small person. But on the surface, it is a slap in the face, and it is always a very light-looking look. For someone else, Xuanhuan might have beaten him so much that mother couldn't recognize him, but Dong King Ai is the young master of Eastern Jade Paradise. Both of them have their own scruples and can't do it. At the auction, I took tens of thousands of spiritual stones at the auction. I didn't let Dong King Ai eat it. Now Wei Suo is killing Tianfengzi, and Xuanhuan's heart is unspeakable. A good fart But at this time, there was someone on the stands who was great treasure called a surging sound. And Xuanhuan's murderous intention flashed, thinking about who had such courage to blame himself. But when I turned around, I saw a burly cultivator with a look of anger, which idiot forced the guy who is not in use to fight out and fight against it, so that I have to bet and lose all the way to streaking. I saw this burly cultivator roaring, and while brushing off the clothes on his body, it turned out to be white light under the feet. I don't know what the flying shift great art used, and the buttocks flew around the stands. Well, real man, see you. Good man. A word. We top you. Reliably, fly slowly, we will help you look at the clothes and the spiritual stones bag. For a time, the entire grandstand was screaming for surging sound. Nangong Yuking and Han Weiwei were blushing and didn't dare to stare at the bare streaking cultivator. I don't think you are so hidden, I just looked down on you. Muking I's face was completely gloomy, and it seemed to be about to happen soon, but after the eyes flashed a few times, it was pressed down, but Wei Suo, who looked coldly down, said this. Wei Suo does not move the surging sound, Dong Young Master is polite. There are 1,000 high-grade spiritual stones. Dong King I took out a treasure-receiving pocket directly and threw it to the positive treasure who looked at him Xi and Yalan. It seems that the treasure-receiving pocket worth 1 or 2 spiritual stones is also not needed. Then he reached out and took out a set of 20 white triangles from a treasure-receiving pocket. This is a complete set of fog flag, you can check it out. After throwing more than 20 white array flags to Xi and Yalan, Dong King I had no words, and directly dropped 2 maps in front of Wei Suo's. Wei Suo did not even carefully check Dong King I's face. People like Dong King I are now tied up. No matter how low-key they are, there is no secret place. For Wei Suo, the only way out is to raise the cultivation base. Don't fall into his hands. Since you have a great treasure in the color head, you obviously want this thing too, but this thing and the arrow flag of the fog are also useful to me, so you can't give it to you, but this 100,000 spiritual stones are all for you, and they should be able to make up for it. Xi and Yalan seems to be deliberately stimulating Dong King II, who has split up in front of Dong King II. After looking at the array flag, directly throw 1,000 high-grade spiritual stones, which is equivalent to 100,000 spiritual stones as treasure-receiving pocket, directly to Wei Suo. It's just what the girl said. Wei Suo nodded without hesitation. Although he also wants these 2 things, but with his current strength and cultivation base, there is simply no room for bargaining with her. And this 100,000 downselling spiritual stones is also an unexpected windfall for him. If there is nothing, I will leave without saying goodbye. After receiving the treasure-receiving pocket, Wei Suo gave a direct look to Nangong Yuking and Han Weiwei and left. In the lust situation that has already offended the local snake Dong King II, staying at 7-star city for a moment is already a bit more dangerous. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 166. Chapter 166 Plans and Changes, 2nd, Red Ticket. A series of spirit light flashed, and a secret place outside the fallen moon city, which is closest to 7-star city, was sent to the shapeshift great art. Wei Suo, Nangong Yuking, and Han Weiwei were on display. The faces of the 3 people are all somewhat white, and they all look dizzy and disgusting. This is the result of the long-distance transmission of the shapeshift great art array. The spiritual chi fluctuations are too intense, and the impact of the cultivator divine consciousness. Although 7-star city and fallen moon city are only 7,000 miles apart, this is not the farthest transmission of the shapeshift great art array, but this is the transmission of the shapeshift great art array, and 3 people still can't stand it. Before Han Weiwei tracked the cultivator to 7-star city, whether it was the cultivator or Han Weiwei, they used the fallen moon city as a springboard, took a day off in fallen moon city, and then rushed to 7-star city. Otherwise, if the shapeshift great art array is transmitted through 2 such distances in a row, a class of cultivator like Wei Suo will have a headache shifting the great art array, and it will be painful to swear. Spit it out. After that, the damage of divine consciousness must be at least half a month to recover. And that's why Wei Suo really wants to get the spirit protecting ancient talisman. I saw that all 3 people were uncomfortable, but Wei Suo quickly escorted his ugly white jade crane shapeshift great art great treasure, carrying 3 people and penetrating outside of Fallen Moon City. Among the mountains. After flying more than 100 miles to the west, Wei Suo took control of the Cornice shapeshift great art great treasure. Then I saw Wei Suo take out something that looks like a cyan token and put it behind a rock. After that, he rushed out of the ugly white jade crane, carrying 3 people to the west side of the forest around the past, a moment of time, disappeared without a trace. Great treasure. After about 2 stick of incense time, a golden giant bird suddenly swept from the direction of the shapeshift great art that Wei Suo and others sent from the beginning. This golden giant bird looks like a vulture, and its feathers are glittering like gold. Especially the golden light on the 2 wings is the strongest. When flying, a pair of claws are swayed by thunder light, which is a level 4 high-level golden-winged thunderbird. Only the ordinary golden-winged thunderbird is only 2 feet long, but this golden-winged thunderbird has 3 feet long, and it is obviously an advanced elder-class golden-winged thunderbird. Sitting on the back of the saddle is the Xuanhuan wearing the hollow golden armor. The average common slave bag is a monster beast without the shapeshift great art that accommodates the watermark cyan ox, and the giant Suo's spirit control can only control a monster beast. But Xuanhuan will be watermark cyan ox for a while, and the golden-winged thunderbird will showcase the sure spirit beast palace, the most great treasure of heavenly profound continent. Not only can there be a beast bag that can accommodate the great treasure type monster beast, but also there are secret places that can control more than 2 monster beasts. After a slightly hovering appearance of the golden-winged thunderbird, it fell behind the rock where Wei Suo hid the cyan token. This guy is too careful. There are obviously no restrictions on this inner sect disciples, and only the advanced golden-winged thunderbird can track the smell of this kind of material itself. He will also have scruples and will be lost here. Secret place. I was only able to see his natural talent. I am so eager to accept him as the Spirit Beast Palace elite disciple now. This guy is careful to this point, but maybe there is a secret treasure secret. He deliberately cast the rank 2 cloud fog, it seems to cover up the secret place secret on him. I am more interested in him now. After picking up 2 rocky cracks in the back of the rock, engraved with the cyan token marked by the beast, Xuanhuan muttered a few words after himself, and then the golden-winged thunderbird flew high above the sky. The surrounding forest seems to be searching for, and after a while, it disappeared into the sky. At this moment, if Wei Suo can hear Xuanhuan, there will always be a surging sound. Because she is almost ignorant of Wei Suo, the inference made is that it is inseparable. In exchange for the general rogue cultivator, it may be a good idea to join the sect like the Spirit Beast Palace, but Wei Suo has a great treasure like the green-robed old man, but it doesn't want to have anything to do with the Spirit Beast Palace, otherwise it will be section inside the cultivation base. Strong great treasure cultivator found secret place secret, murdering great treasure is extremely normal. Plus Wei Suo doesn't know anything about Xuanhuan, but also Xuanhuan, who is afraid of what Xuanhuan does, so I can't see what Xuanhuan has on his inner sect disciples token, but he is very careful. Lost in this secret place. As for the cloud symbol, when it was with Tianfengzi intercourse, Wei Suo was trying not to expose his strength as much as possible. After seeing Tianfengzi have spirit rank attacking shapeshift great art great treasure and defending shapeshift great art great treasure in hand, Wei Suo does not use the goods at the bottom of the pressure box. It is definitely not enough. After considering it again, Wei Suo will I decided to solve Tianfengzi with the divine consciousness of Qin Old Devil's mysterious great treasure. This mysterious great treasure dress, now replaced by Wei Suo's modified shapeshift great art, has been worn in Wei Suo's blue cloth. In order not to let people see that they were inspired by divine consciousness, which was inspired by Xuanhuan's great treasure, Wei Suo also deliberately ran around Trueyuan, revealing her own 8 divine C, so that all the cultivators present thought he was missing. Divine consciousness impact, shapeshift great art. The divine consciousness of heavenly circuit realm third layer cultivator is stronger than the great treasure of heavenly circuit realm second layer. Wei Suo hits the head directly, and Tianfengzi directly burns his head with no fight. Causes suspicion of any cultivator. Another way to hide Wei Suo's cloud is to prevent the cultivator from discovering that he is a cultivator of dual spiritual roots. Because if there is no such cloud, when the whole force flows to true Yuan, two spiritual roots variation scenery, but also clearly exposed to all cultivator eyes. The spirit light of spiritual roots variation scenery is not as strong as the divine sea. Wei Suo is just calculated. The cloud of the two clouds of fog has blocked his two spiritual roots variation scenery, but let the cultivator present to see him. The divine sea is a faint purple light. For Wei Suo, the less exposed the contents of the pressure box, the more likely it is to be a great treasure when it comes to a strong enemy. This match with Tianfengzi, he can be said to have been hidden very well. I just didn't expect this Xian Yalan to be suspicious of him, and his interest in him was even stronger. Just over an hour later, a thick eyebrow-robed cultivator and a burly green treasure, Great Treasure Han, walked into Fallen Moon City. Fallen Moon City is about the same size as the Spirit Peak City, except that the Fallen Moon City is built in a valley in two mountains, and there is a crescent-shaped lake on one side of the valley. From the air, looking at it, it is like a crescent moon falling in this valley, and Fallen Moon City is named after it. The two cultivators seem to be no strangers to Fallen Moon City. They didn't make any detours and went straight to the shops of the Spirit Pellet Square in the South Market in Fallen Moon City. Upon seeing the two cultivators enter, the two clerks in the shop looked at each other and immediately greeted them. One of the slightly chunky clerks said to the two cultivators low surging sound. After 2 sentences, the two cultivators were directly brought into a quiet room after the shop. A moment later, a yellow cultivator with a sallow face and the two cultivators, as well as a shopkeeper dressed in a smocked attire, walked out of the quiet room. At the moment, the two cultivators have been replaced with the clothing of the store clerk. The 4 men walked into the store's quiet room, which was dedicated to concocting pills. After a while, only the yellow-colored cultivator and the shopkeeper who looked like sallows came out. The two just arrived at Fallen Moon City's short cultivator was left in the Dan room. The yellow robes cultivator with a sallow face and the old shopkeeper of the shopkeeper talked a few words. It seems that after asking some things, the old man in the shopkeeper walked toward a secret place, went to the secret place to go to the store. The yellow cultivator with a sallow face is walking towards the store. But just as he walked out of the store, a handsome cultivator wearing a pale yellow blouse, but also just walked out of the store into the store. As soon as he saw the delicate female cultivator, the yellow cultivator obviously, Yeguwei. Dressed in a light yellow blouse, the fascinating female cultivator with a faint sorrow in his eyes was also a sneak peek. He looked at the yellow-robed cultivator who spoke to himself and wondered, "This predecessor, have we seen it before? How do you know my name?" "I am Wei Suo." I saw the yellow robes cultivator with a sallow face. I took the first 2 steps. I took the delicate female cultivator and did not subconsciously panic. When she retreated backwards, she quickly said in her ear, "I was specially dressed up. This looks like Wei, great treasure brother." The delicate female cultivator was suddenly stunned. The yellow-colored cultivator with a sallow face then took out a fish-like message, jade talisman, and shook it in front of the clear female cultivator. This time, the face of the delicate female cultivator suddenly appeared a surprise intercourse plus the god lust. "Big brother Wei, how come you are in this secret place? This is the industry of a friend's home, and I will talk about it inside. Nangong Yuking is also inside, your great treasure brother. Yes, Yao Zheng, why not with you? In fact, this secret place Spirit Pellet is a store of the rare treasure pavilion in Fallen Moon City. The reason why Wei Suo will be in this secret place is that I have done a lot of calculations in my heart. Now Wei Suo is the opposite of the bright face. There are Black Fiend, Golden Eagle Palace and Eastern Jade Paradise. Considering that it is not safe to return to Spirit Peak City, Wei Suo simply let Zhu Xiaochun and Zhen Chongming. I also rushed over and prepared to raise my purple mystic true technique to earth level mid-level in this fallen moon city spirit pellet. Anyway, according to Wei Suo's, as long as more than 200 heaven mending pellets, it can be up to 20 days. Now that the two maps are in hand, plus the set of fog flag, it can be said to remind Wei Suo, since it is easier to expose the whereabouts in the city, is it better to open a hole in the outside? Anyway, with immortal slaying vine and mind devouring bug, it would not be particularly dangerous to build a cave in a safe area as shown on the map. Now Wei Suo complete plan, is Fallen Moon City first cultivation, will purple mystic true technique ascension to earth level mid-level, then directly looking for a suitable secret place, set shapeshift great art to establish a dongfu of their own, then go to break Dragon Cliff, see if you can get that a golden spotted ginseng, and then a trip, go to the Phoenix Nest City, if can really according to Grandma Jin said, can get 200,000 low-grade spiritual stones, then Wei Suo may be able to retreat impact heavenly circuit realm 5th layer, even the cultivation base of thought division stage. At the moment, Wei Suo originally asked the shopkeeper of the spirit pellet workshop, and then went out to buy some materials to cultivate mind-devouring bug and refine the heaven-mending pellet, and to see if it was possible to buy some protective shapeshift great art arrays for the cave house. Unexpectedly, it just happened to hit Yegyue. These moments are not explained by shapeshift great art and Yegyue at all, and it is inconvenient to talk outside. Wei Suo was originally prepared to let Yegyue call Ye Xiaozheng to talk about the old one. After all, this Ye brother and sister is also his intercourse of life and death. Now, in Blue Wind Mound, these two people can also help themselves. But what Wei Suo didn't think was that when he asked Ye Xiaozheng, Yegyue's eyes suddenly appeared a layer of fog. I am great treasure brother. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 167. Chapter 167 Your mother calls you home. 3rd, ask for a red ticket. What, was broken a divine sea? Among the quiet rooms in Spirit Pellet, Wei Suo, Nangang Yuking, and Han Weiwei's faces are ugly. Originally, Wei Suo just asked Ye Xiaozheng outside and saw that Yegyue seemed to be crying out. He thought that Ye Xiaozheng had suffered an accident. Later, I heard that it was injured, and Wei Suo was relieved, but at this moment, Yegyue said that Ye Xiaozheng had broken a divine sea by the opportunity shapeshift great art, and his face changed again. Only in the case of the lust of the divine sea will be broken, and if this part of the meridian is not well restored, the future cultivation base will be difficult to enter, and the road to the equivalent to cultivator will be completely cut off. After taking a deep breath, Wei Suo looked at Yegyue and asked, what is he doing now? What the hell is going on? How could he be broken by a divine sea? My great treasure brother is not at risk now, but at least some medicine level above the earth level will need to heal the damaged meridians, Yegyue said with some sadness. The other party is the cultivator of Sihatang. My great treasure brothers were hit by the other cultivator when they hunted a four-armed scorpion. As a result, the other cultivator not only robbed our forearms. Not to mention, I also hurt my great treasure brother. Reassure, I will secretly treat this earth-level treatment for medicine pill. A look at Yegyue's god lust, Wei Suo knows that she certainly does not have enough spiritual stones to purchase earth level's healing medicine pill. After all, an earth-level treatment of medicine pill is also the tens of thousands of spiritual stones. After saying this, Wei Suo went on to ask, what kind of sect is Sihatang? Yegyue finally resisted not crying, his eyes reddish. Sihatang is not a sect, but also an organization where rogue cultivators are gathered. It has only been established in recent months. Is it just the Rogue Cultivator Alliance like your Flying Eagle? Wei Suo asks strangely. Then they do this, do you fly the Eagle? There is no high-level cultivator in the Eagle, and now the highest cultivation base is only Heavenly Circuit Realm 2nd layer, Yegyue said, but there are 2 cultivators of heavenly circuit realm 3rd layer in Sihatang. Just because the other side has 2 heavenly circuit realm 3rd layer cultivators, you can't manage the flying eagle. Han Wei heard great treasure anger. What do you mean by joining this eagle? Wei has some sad bows. Because of this, my great treasure brothers have now withdrawn from the eagle. 2 cultivators of heavenly circuit realm 3rd layer. Wei Suo gave a slight indulgence and then looked at Wei and asked, how strong are these 2 cultivators? What is the powerful shapeshift great art on the body? Here Wei Suo so asked. Nangong Yuking and Han Wei are looking a move, but did not say what words. Just listen to Wei replied. These 2 cultivator, one of them called Gold Rings Wandering Monk, there is a set of 9 gold rings of the Shan, is a spirit rank shapeshift great art great treasure. Another cultivator named Huang Tianya, do not know what the origin, but it is said to repair a yin evil of surgery shift great art, with naked body is what kind of art shapeshift great art, but not how many people know, but the strength should still be in Gold Rings Wandering Monk, is the leader of their Sihai Hall now. Wei Suo nodded. Then they have a total of cultivators in Sihatang. Where can I find them and hurt your great treasure? Big brother Wei, do you want to teach them? This time, even Wei heard the meaning of Wei Suo's, and quickly hurriedly waved, no, it is too dangerous. Do not be afraid. This guy has just killed the elders of the Golden Eagle Palace. Han Wei snorted and looked at Wei Suo. Wei Suo, I told you, I will help you to settle the leaf great treasure, but if you want to teach the people of Sihatang, you must bring me. Otherwise, I will blow you all out tomorrow. What are you worried about? Wei Suo is a little bit smirking. Now there are 2 heavenly circuit realm 3rd layer cultivators in Sihatang. It is also very great treasure to be done, but Han Wei is like a madman. When I hear this happening, quickly, both eyes are golden, and it seems that I can't wait to rush to the past. Well, you must first figure out how much strength the other party has. If there are dozens of heavenly circuit realm 1st layers, do you follow me? I can't escape too much. Reassured Wei Suo said with a smile to Han Wei, and looked at Wei. I am not sure that I will never do it, just tell me clearly. Wei listened to Wei Suo. This is a bit reassuring. They have a total of more than 70 cultivators, of which the great treasure is mostly the cultivator of Divine Sea Realm, but the cultivator of Heavenly Circuit Realm has more than a dozen. Just Heavenly Circuit Realm 3rd layer should be the 2 people. They are usually gathered in the Pagoda Tree Village, 100 miles outside the south gate of Fallen Moon City. Basically, there are usually as many as 40 cultivators there. I was herding my great treasure brother is a cultivator named Zhou Ruofeng. So much, Wei Suo licked surging sound hum and then asked Han Wei, would you like to kill them alone this evening? I will not go. Hey, you are my idiot. Han Wei looked at Wei Suo with disdain and said, I thought you were more loyal. When I heard the other person, I immediately shrank the turtle. Wei Suo, they are too many people, and there are so many heavenly circuit realm cultivators at the moment. Nangong Yuking sees Wei Suo's vision, but Wei Suo has made up his mind and must deal with the 4 sea halls. He advised, it is dangerous to be enemies with them. As long as there is no special high-level cultivator, there will be no problem with great treasure. Wei Suo sneered a little and sneered. As for the number of people, I will find more helpers. Wei Suo, are you not bragging? Where do you go to find a helper? Han Wei looked suspiciously at Wei Suo. You will know when you wait. You should first settle the Yesiaozheng great treasure. Wei Suo looked at Han Wei and said, but I want to give them a chance. You just ask someone to send them a letter and let them feel hurt in my 4 halls. I am not doing the right thing. Leave Pagoda Tree Village before black, otherwise you will bear the consequences yourself. Yellow brother, how do you see this? After half an hour, Fallen Moon City outside a secret place on the slopes of the courtyard, a shawl, wearing a gold-plated plaid, chunky wandering monk, looking at a small sheepskin roll, ask sitting in his right head, a middle-aged cultivator wearing a purple crepe robes. This secret place is surrounded by an old banyan tree that looks like at least 1,000 years old, and it is obviously what Pagoda Tree Village says by Yeguwei. This Pagoda Tree Village has at least 100 or 200 rooms, and it seems to be somewhat old and run down. It seems that it has only recently been occupied by people in Sihatang. This face is full of flesh, with a butcher's middle-aged cultivator next to wandering monk, white no need, snuggle next to two gorgeous female cultivator, one of his hands also stretched into the corset of one female cultivator, rubbing got two sets of snow-white but white peaks. At this moment, when I heard the chunky wandering monk, the cultivator fell into a slight indulgence. Is the person who came to the letter to check it? Checked out, just an ordinary rogue cultivator, said that the other is a great treasure of heavenly circuit realm first layer, his eyebrows are very thick, just gave him 7 pieces of spiritual stones to let him run a slap. After the middle-aged cultivator wearing purple robes, after a sigh of relief, the cold flashed in the eyes, according to the meaning of the other party, we may start to us tonight, you can quickly find someone to inform them if they are closed, so that they all come back. Say it again. Yellow brother, let them all come back, is this a bit too great treasure? Dissembling wandering monk is somewhat disapproving. I understand what you mean. It is true that we are so many people, even if they are high-ranking people in the thought division stage cultivation base, they should be able to cope, the purple robe middle-aged cultivator said, but the other party is so great treasure, it must be reliant, and must not be great. Nice. I would like to see what the other party is, actually such a great treasure. In the eyes of wandering monk, the cold flashed and sneered. I am afraid that if this person knows our background, I am afraid I will scare my pants. The night is 4. As the night grew stronger, the cultivator outside Fallen Moon City was almost extinct. But a cultivator wearing a cyan shirt is a great treasure, and the great treasure is in the night, dragging a thing and walking quickly towards the murderous Aura Pagoda Tree Village. Who? At a distance of 200 feet from the main entrance of Pagoda Tree Village, the cultivator was surrounded by 5 or 6 cultivators. Ah, don't misunderstand, are you a person from Sihatang? The seemingly fascinating cultivator immediately threw the things he had dragged into the front of several cultivators. He said with a smile, in the next place, I want to ask if I can join the Four Seas Hall. This is my meeting for the great treasure, brother. No mouse. Level 5 first stage monster beast. As soon as I saw the cultivator dragging the things in front of me, the 5 or 6 cultivators of Sihatang suddenly surprised at the moment. 4 short legs that look amazingly explosive, a silvery rat hair, a very strong wind spiritual chi, not a staggering speed, running like a shadow, there is no general level 5 first class monster beast. 5 or 6 cultivators first looked at the eyebrows of this person. After seeing that the eyebrows of this person were only 2 thin ones, 5 or 6 cultivators looked at each other. After that, one of the cultivators wearing black armor quickly checked. I took a look at the 2-footed silver giant rat and nodded to the other cultivators. There is no problem with this shadowless mouse, but this time suddenly popping out of such a person, but it is impossible to let these 5 or 6 cultivators have doubts. Between the slightest squats, I saw another burly figure, giving a cultivator great treasure with a very simple feeling at the glance. The head of the cultivator is also a meteor body with a monster beast. When I saw the cultivator wearing a cyan shirt, she shouted at great treasure. Nichishi, why are you so late? Your mother calls you home. Ah, but I am going to join the Four Seas Hall. What do you add? You are a fool. Your mother said that it is definitely not enough to bring a monster beast to meet. Let me bring you another one. Speaking of this muscle male cultivator, the monster beast body that was dragged in his hand was also thrown in front. Bamboo magic bug. Level 5 monster beast. The muscle male cultivator is thrown to the front of a pest that is 3 feet long, and the naked body is like a section of cyan bamboo sticks. Very peculiar. At first glance, it is like a fake replacement. The shell-like cyan bamboo is very hard, and true UN will flow out corrosive acid after the injection. It can make the level 5 primary beast bamboo of the shapeshift great art. Magic bug? Well, your mother said, plus this monster beast is almost the same. It is too dangerous outside at night. Go home first, and come back tomorrow. Fine. Brothers, I will go home first, and I will come again tomorrow. After the instrumental cultivator nodded, he immediately followed the muscle man to leave. Among the 5 or 6 cultivators, the previous black cultivator brow that examined the monster beast slightly wrinkled and seemed to want to stop the two, but Xuanhuan was sent a surging sound with a slight dry coughing surging sound. Hearing this surging sound, the black cultivator didn't have any movements, just looking at the road when the 2 men followed the road disappeared into the night. Your mother calls you home. In a tall building in Xuanhuan, I clearly saw the golden ring of the scene, wandering monk, a sneer, and asked Huang Tianya, who was wearing a purple robes. Yellow brother, these 2 people obviously have problems, why not the 2 stayed? The enemy does not move, I don't move. Huang Tianya coldly, who has no need for white face, smiled and said, with the constant change, you will not be in the others' tricks. You will send 2 monster beasts over and over. They may be playing when we stay strong tricks, as long as we don't mess with so many people, the other party will definitely have nothing to do with shapeshift great art. Wandering monk, you ask them to bring in the 2 monster beasts and check carefully if there are any problems. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 168. Everyone. Wei Suoki looked around for a moment, but the old man with green bean eyelid robe welcomed Dongqing Ii and Xi and Yalan into the front row of empty seats, and walked to Wei Suo and others. After saying hello, this old man with green bean's eyes, who seemed to be in charge here, looked at Wei Suo and Tianfengzi and said, there are still a pair of monks in front of you, and you must start right away. K2, you can wait in the VIP seat next to them. I have arranged for the next one for the 2. Nangong Yuking is okay. Han Weiwei, who hasn't seen many scenes yet, is very cheeky. Obviously, in this iron-blooded hall, it is still the position closest to the fighting platform, which is the best VIP seat. Tianfengzi sneered at this moment without saying anything, and walked towards the vicinity of Dongqing Ii and Xi and Yalan. But Wei Suo looked at the old man in leather robe quietly and asked, this senior, is the first time to come to this Iron Blood Palace next time. The rules of this Iron Blood Palace are something. I don't know if I can explain it. The rules of our Iron Blood Palace are no rules. The old man in leather robe smiled and walked with Wei Suo, and said, within that platform, you can use any means to deal with the opponent. However, it is best not to touch the aura mask before the victory or defeat is divided, because the power of this mask is equivalent to the 4-point cultivation of the imagination, which is a magic technique for the monk. It has a strong rebound. If you want to wear it, if you come out, you will be injured by a shock. Oh, Wei Suo glanced at the almost completely transparent aura mask. The mask should have no effect on casting spells, including treasure chests, slave bags, etc. Nature has no effect. This aura mask is just to prevent the spells and instruments of the 2 sides of the fight from flying out of accidental injury. In addition, the 2 sides are limited to this 100-foot area, so that the 2 can quickly score the victory and defeat Pi. The old man in the robe explained. However, if the spell covering the range is more than 100 feet, it will be affected. If there are any vulnerable instruments, don't easily bombard this aura of light. Wei Suo nodded and groaned slightly. He concealed a layer of cultivation practice. Actually, it was Zhou Tianjing's triple cultivation practice. In addition, these more than 20 years of refining some of the Tian pills, although not yet at the prefecture level, have at least exceeded the ground level. Many low-level. And Tianfengzi is Zhou Tianjing's double cultivation, and the cultivation is still Xian level high-level exercises. In cultivation, Wei Suo is far superior to Tianfengzi. As for the things on his body, Wei Suo has Liu Yang Shenhuo fork and other things, which should be a stable victory. What he is considering now is what to use. It is best not to expose his bottom of the pressure box, and at the same time, do not put Liu Yang Shenhuo. A sign like a fork is exposed, otherwise even if Tianfengzi is easily killed, there will be great troubles. At this time, I saw the flash of the aura of light, and suddenly disappeared, and a thicker gas poured out. The monstrous black robe on the platform threw himself into a passage below the platform without looking back, and disappeared quickly. Soon, 2 more monks came out of the passage. These 2 monks are all 5-fold cultivation practice of Shanghai realm. One of the monks was wearing a green leather vest and his face was about 27 or 8 years old. A large bat symbol was printed on the back. The figure is very shapely and expressionless. The other monk wore a black Jing gold chain armor and rumbling around when he walked. He was in his 30s, with a thin face, the on his face was extremely ruthless, and 2 knife-shaped eyebrows flew in diagonally. Temples. After entering the platform, the aura mask appeared again. Obviously, the aura mask excited by the magic circle was also controlled by the Danjiao Shengjing monk in the hall. Our Iron Blood Palace is open to all monks entering the 7-star city, but if the monks of the 4 layers of Shanghai realm want to earn spirit stones, we can also arrange for opponents. Before the 2 sides fight, they can get 500 each. Lower grade spirit stone. The winning side, in addition to the other party's magical weapon, can also get 1,000 lower grade spirit stone. Like these 2 are monks who did not know each other before, just to earn spirit stone at this time. The old man in the leather robe who opened the conversation box remembered something similar, and confessed to Wei Suo and Tianfengzi. It's okay to use defensive spells and shields. This is the only rule of our Iron Hall, because both sides of the fighting method must give time to the monks who are present. Between the old man in leather robe talking, the 2 monks in the field really just started to stimulate the defensive weapon. The monk wearing the green bat pattern vest inspired a green mask and cast a half-spirit copper shield. However, the chain monk with the most cyan face was a black iron shield on both sides, protecting the front and back respectively. After that, the monk inspired a red jade amulet. A wall of fire appeared not far away in front of him, the flames were blazing, and the upper stands were all clearly visible, but from the position of the Xingyi monk, I was afraid that he could not see the next move of the chain armor through the wall of fire. 2. In the stands, at least dozens of disciples from Danjiao Shengjing were walking through quickly, accepting bets. The face of the chain armor monk was ugly, because with the entry of Wei Suo and Tianfengzi, coupled with the hearing that Xian Yalan and Dong Qing'ai each made huge bets, they poured in for a while to see the fun. There are at least 100 monks. The dozens of disciples of Danjiao Shengjing are even too busy for a while. It seems that at least 1 incense burner will allow them to start fighting. And this fire wall symbol can only last for about a cent of incense. From the current situation, his fire wall symbol is equivalent to wasted. Some monks may not be able to resist the earlier shot, but he came to earn the spirit stone. If he violates the rules of the Iron Blood Temple, even if he wins, the Iron Blood Temple will definitely have to withdraw a large amount of spirit stone. I'm doing it. Why did so many people come in at once? I didn't lose this fire wall symbol in vain. Shit, don't look at the situation again. For a time, some monks who had already bet on the stands and could not help but yelled and scolded. Some sharp-eyed monks have already recognized Dong Qing'ai and others, knowing that there must be an unusual fighting method about to happen. It is good. As a disciple of Danjiao Shengjing in the stands disengaged, almost at the moment when the fire wall went out, a clear bell sounded through the entire temple of iron blood. At this time, Wei Suo only saw the center of the main hall, hanging a green bell. Go to death. At the same time the bell sounded, the unsightly chain monk stretched out his hand, and a flash of light and shadow had already hit the copper shield in front of the Qingshan monk. It is good. Suddenly, all the chain-armored monks held in the stands. I saw sparks splashing on the copper shield, and a slot appeared. It is obvious that this magic weapon issued by the chain armor is more powerful than the ordinary half-spiritual magic weapon, and the special feature of this magic weapon is that the speed is quite amazing, and it is almost teleportation. This time, almost all the monks did not see what it was like. The cold light flashed in the eyes of the monk in the blue shirt, but he was in a hurry to arouse a white se fulu. I saw a thick fog filling the entire platform in an instant, and all the monks on the stands looked vaguely from the top, but the blue shirt monk inspired the symbol, and he kept changing his position. Approaching to the chain monk. When, a burst of sparks exploded, and the blue shirt monk instantly reached the left side of the chain armor. A cold light accurately penetrated through the black iron shield that almost covered the other side from the two sides, and beheaded. At the waist of the chain monk, the spark burst, and the blood of the chain monk's waist collapsed. Boom! At the same time as a huge cry of exclamation sounded, the light and shadow in the hands of the chain monk flashed again, but it was also drawn close to the edge of the copper shield, and the puncture pierced the monk's body. The outer aura defense turned out to be like cutting a radish, and directly cut the left arm of the Xingyi monk who could not escape. However, the face of the monk in the blue shirt did not seem to change. The right hand was almost extended at the same time. The three black arrows screamed out of the sleeve of the right hand. From the wound on the waist of the chain armor, they disappeared into the body. Chain monk stiffened. Then time seemed to stagnate. In the silence of the audience, there was a clatter, and the monk wearing a black chain fell to the ground. I saw that the one-armed shirtless monk did not stay in search of the opponent's body for a while, and then made a gesture. The moment when the aura mask disappeared he was expressionless, picked up his arm on the ground, and disappeared into the passage just came in. Nana, I met a ruthless person. Seeing such a scene, many of the people in the stands who had originally bet on the chain armor monks won, and the number of faces changed, but they were only a bit chilly in their hearts. Judging from the situation of Fang Cai, this monk in blue shirt actually killed his opponent instantly at the expense of one arm. He first broke the opponent's chain armor with a magic weapon, and then at this moment, at the expense of his own arm, he attracted the opponent to fight back immediately without adjusting the position of the magic shield. And the final blow to kill the chain armor was not even a magic weapon, but a powerful weapon. This unexpected method surprised the monks present. Although looking at him, it should be possible that there is an elixir in hand to connect the broken limb. But such a fierce calculation, killing the opponent in an instant, it is really chilling. Jing is extremely colorful. The old man in leather robe gave a sigh of praise, but nodded at Wei Suo and Tianfengzi. The next two are on the court. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 169. Chapter 169 Animals. Pu puff puff puff. Throughout the pagoda tree village to the secret place, the spirit light surged, with a total of more than 40 cultivators. Even Huang Tianya, who was thunderous, threw a divine light screen at the fastest speed, and then continued to cast a diffuse surface. The ice-cold white ice crystal shapeshift great art shield and a pure gold shapeshift great art shield. In case of accidentally naked body being drilled into a flying fire pharyngeal ant, then it is not dead to lose bones. 340 red-hot fire lines rushed down. At the same time, there are at least 340 color shapeshift great art and various splendid light produced by shapeshift great art, which are hit by the 340 red-hot lines. Pa! Pa! The burst of sound, but the speed of these flying worms is too amazing. The great treasure most shapeshift great art has been avoided, at least 20 flying worms hit the cultivator on the divine light screen. The giant grass treasure inspired by the cultivator black square print, but it was a smashing of 2 flying fire pharyngeal ants, but it was extremely ugly to make his face change. The 2 flying fire pharyngeal ants were after a hovering, it flew back. It is obvious that his weight-shifting shapeshift great art device does not cause much damage to the monster beast. The divine light screen outside the cultivator dressed by a scribe was hit by 4 flying fire worms at the same time. The 4 energy sparks on the divine light screen, the powerful energy of the divine light screen could not resist, and the broken energy was broken. The cultivator, who had no time to resist, immediately issued a screaming surging sound. At this time, Huang Tianya's face flashed brightly, and under his grasp, a green and black yin qi was rushing out. 1.5 tall black ghost claws were in the cultivator. Formed in front of the body, but it is a 4-headed flying pharyngeal ants all in their hands. The black ghost claws with the raging yin qi retracted, but the 4-headed flying fire pharyngeal ants were also completely extinguished. The cultivator that was swept by the black ghost claws in front of him was instantly blue and shivered and sat down immediately. The closed eyes adjusted. Huang Tianya's shapeshift great art, the power seems to be hidden in a spirit rank great art great treasure under a spirit rank. Among the many cultivators, 2 of the fascinating female cultivators' shapeshift great art are also very conspicuous. These 2 female cultivators, which were the former snuggle at Huang Tianya, one of them was also played by Huang Tianya in the Golden Ring Wandering Monk to play with a pair of female cultivators. I saw 2 female cultivators each with a blue dreary cold crystal bead. The 2 crystal beads of the 2 giant eggs are seemingly running with the spirit of the 2 female cultivators. Each lasing can bombard a flying worm. The flying fire pharyngeal ants that were hit by this crystal bead also immediately extinguished the great treasure, although they did not die immediately, but they also suffered from a lot of trauma, and the action was delayed. It is only with the cultivation base of Huang Tianya Heavenly Circuit Realm 3rd layer and the 2 female cultivator Divine Sea Realm 5th layer, respectively. The control of these 2 movements, shapeshift great art, is also obviously difficult. True Yuan is very worn out. Don't mess. We are so many people, are you still afraid that these monsters are not in the district? After the green-black ghost claws grabbed the 2 flying firebone ants, they immediately lost 2 chi recovery pellet in the mouth of Huang Tianya sternly shouted, "These monster beast is too fast." Great treasure first attack the shapeshift great art with the great treasure range and shapeshift great art to limit the action of the monster beast, and then kill them one by one. The cultivator great treasures in the field are mostly rich in the role of shapeshift great art. When Huang Tianya sternly shouted surging sound sounded, most of the great cultivators had already reacted, and talisman was provoked. Great treasure range attack talisman and shapeshift great art, great treasure most cultivator will have a few pieces. But this time at the same time, but it is too much. At least a dozen shapeshift great art characters, such as Ice Rain, Ice Shard Talisman, and Fire Cloud, are simultaneously inspired. The pagoda tree village is above the ice layer. There are countless frosts and flying fires. There are also several sets of shapeshift great art. Dozens of brilliance and twists. For a time, not only the great treasure, most of the flying worms were stunned, and even some of the shapeshift great art devices cast by the cultivator below were smashed. Well, the next flying scorpion should not be difficult to deal with. The great treasure family is as usual when going out, and the 4 or 5 people are scattered to kill these monster beasts, otherwise it is too messy. However, all the presence of the Sihatang cultivator was just in accordance with Huang Tianya's statement. When the group of 4 or 5 people was very tacitly dispersed, the mountains of the distant secret place seemed to move like tides. How, even the town of Spirit Beast Palace to the great treasure cannot drive so many monster beast. Looking at the instigation of those mountains, it seems that the great treasure storm, but in the near future, but what is the great treasure wind transit, clearly is the dense monster beast from all directions. The beast tide. Dear God, are we just encountering the beasts that have only been once in a few hundred years? Several cultivators called the great treasure of the unmanned color. Not. At this time, let alone the people of Sihatang, even with Hanwaiwei, the secret place in the Blue Emperor bottle gourds Wei Suo in the package of Simu's spiritual chi, cannot help but a cold sweat. According to green-robed old man's shapeshift great art, this can make the vast treasure of most monster beasts. The effective range of Skicloud essence is around 300 miles, that is, as long as the monster beast within the range of 300 miles, it is very likely that I will feel the scent of Skicloud essence. So for fear of no shapeshift great art attracting enough number of monster beasts, Wei Suo, in addition to adding a little sauce on the plain mouse and the ordinary jade talisman inside, also made a lot of cloth on a piece of cloth. Skicloud essence, for a good time, with white jade crane in the mountains of thousands of miles away, and a circle of great treasure. This way, at least the monster beast within the range of 2,000 miles can almost feel it. To be on the safe side, Wei Suo couldn't easily buy a domesticated lightning bird. It looked like there were a lot of monster beasts chasing it, and let the lightning bird grab the piece of cloth and take a small circle. But now the lust shape, not the influx of monster beast is not enough, but it is too much. With a few blinks of effort, there are more than a dozen monster beasts rushing to get out of the way from Wei Suo, Hanwaiwei and Nangong Yuking, and there are also 3 levels of monster beast. This small piece of work will be more than a dozen times in a while. How many heads will there be in the range of such great treasure? And the mountains behind it are still moving, obviously there are still many roads far away, born to run slowly, still desperately coming over. To be sure, the monster beasts that are 2,000 miles apart may not have such an amazing amount, because this is inside Heaven's Dome, not outside Heaven's Dome. And Pagoda Tree Village is only 300 miles from Fallen Moon City. The 3 level 4 monster beast within 1,000 miles of Fallen Moon City has been killed by the cultivator. The general cultivator team wants to kill some 3 level 4 monster beast. I have to find it for a while. The beast tide. Seeing this lust scene, Wei Suo's brain also appeared in the mind when several cultivators in the Pagoda Tree Village were called by the unrecognized great treasure. Legends sometimes because Heaven's Dome suddenly cracked a new hole, or monster beast breeding surge, a region monster beast number reached a certain degree, there will be a number of stunning monster beast gathered together, as the Tidewater general monster beast attack cultivator even a city of lust shape, this lust shaped, is to make cultivator talk of the color change beast tide. Heavenly profound continent northern part once had a spirit peak city, almost great treasure small, called the city of East Huancheng, of which the number of permanent cultivator is 100,000, but at a time do not know what causes the outbreak of great treasure scale beast tide, unexpectedly is almost flattened, which cultivator, even the surrounding city inquiries came to help the cultivator, are 10 stop in the dead 5 or 6 stop, after a chaos, fighting for the dead cultivator body and monster beast corpse naked body, the remaining cultivator between another outbreak of chaos, the remaining cultivator is also dead 10 of 7 or 8. After the animal tide, the surviving cultivator was amazing, and later a group of cultivation base amazing golden core cultivator. However, this kind of great treasure scale beast has only occasionally erupted once in 1,000 years, and the small scale animal tide has not broken out in 300 years. And this kind of animal tide, no one knows because of what reason will be motivated, because once it breaks out, it seems that the monster beast in the faraway place will not know what will come. Did I accidentally trigger a small scale beast? At the thought of this, Wei Suo suddenly felt a little bit sullen. At the same time, in Pagoda Tree Village, Huang Tianya's fierce surging sound has been whistled again and again. Fast, all the people gather a secret place. Ignite everything that can be ignited, and some knights of monster beast are afraid of fire. All cultivators are in a circle. There are half-spirit rank above spirit light shield shapeshift great art on the outermost side, full defense, half-spirit scale above shapeshift great art shields cultivator second row, heavenly circuit realm cultivator in the middle, responsible for the top, ready to respond. The Great Treasure Home has all the Shapeshift Great Art characters and the Consumption Shapeshift Great Art all intercourse in the hands of Heavenly Circuit Realm Cultivator from now on. Listen to my unified order to cast Talisman, Shapeshift Great Art, otherwise these Shapeshift Great Art the device is running out, and we don't want to live. Huang Tianya is indeed a resourceful, and the role of the great treasure of the hero, just under his command, Zhuang Nei to the secret place ignited a raging great treasure fire, and the half of the sky is bright, all 40 cultivators the group has formed 3 levels. The outermost 15 cultivators are all wrapped in divine light screens, the second row of cultivators igniting the shapeshift great art shield, and all the talisman and consumable shapeshift great art devices on these people are taken out. Intercourse gave the innermost more than 10 heavenly circuit realm cultivators. At this time, after flying the worms, the first 40 flying scorpions had already rushed toward their defensive circle. Poor dedication. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 170. Chapter 170 Consumption War, 3rd, Red Ticket. There are not many. Don't fire any shapeshift great art characters and attack them with the shapen great art, which is not easily damaged. With a surging sound great treasure from Huang Tianya, a golden squirrel-like shapeshift great art was first shot from the hands of the golden ring wandering monk. I saw that there were several golden rings on the head of the 5-foot-long golden caduceus. When it was excited, it hit together and formed a circle of visible sound waves in the air. It flew in the top 5 or 6 flying scorpions. All the figures are stagnation. The next more than 20 splendid light rushed out of the 5 or 6 flying scorpions, and the 5 or 6 flying scorpions were all beaten down. Like the previous flying fireworms, the remaining 30 flying scorpions are almost immediately plunged into fury. With a surging sound, the sound of the ear can be pierced. The mouth of the flying scorpion spurred out. The fire tongue excited by Fishanyu has the thickness of an arm, and in the place 2 or 3 feet in front of it, it will be divided into 7 forks, which will be spattered like lightning. The shapeshift great art shield, which was inspired by more than 10 cultivators in the second step, all turned, and the lid was suspended above the head, blocking the attack of the flying scorpion. On the surface of Huang Tianya, Yin Qi, who was black on his face, spurted out, and a ghost claw formed a handful of flying scorpions in his hand. I saw that the flying scorpion was struggling in the hands of the ghosts. The fire and the black-yellow yin qi rolled over for a while, but it was still difficult to get rid of it. Finally, it was caught in a rigid position and fell to the ground. To put. With the 2 rounds of the extremely efficient shapeshift great art volley, more than 40 flying scorpions were almost completely swept away by the cultivators of Sihatang. But the chance to breathe is not at all, the shadow of a great treasure piece has been used from all sides. Golden Armor B. Wolf Head Bat. Golden Armor B, Fist Great Treasure Small Wasp-like Monster Beast, 3-level High-level Monster Beast, the shell is solid and abnormal. Wolf Head Bat, Level 4 Low-Grade Wind Attribute Monster Beast, Wei Suo have received several heads. The number of 2 monster beasts used in this second wave of Great Treasure scale is 200. 1 person and 1 eye system control talisman. Huang Tianya's face changed, and immediately Great Treasure called a surging sound. With so many numbers, if you don't use the shapeshift Great Art, which is contained in the Great Treasure range, your own protective shapeshift great art shield may lose more than half. The more than 10 cultivators in the middle immediately picked up a bunch of shapeshift great art symbols from their hands. The powerful energy of the shaft ice shift great art symbol overlaps, and the air suddenly condenses out a series of ice crystals. The golden armor bee and the wolf head bat flying into it almost have a great treasure and are almost frozen and frozen. Death. With a surging sound, great treasure from Huangtianya, the shapeshift great art is rushing up, and the golden armor bee and the wolf head bat are clear. One thunder attribute on the left controls the shapeshift great art. As the powerful energy of these ice shift shapeshift great art is about to dissipate, with the command of Huangtianya, 5 or 6 thunder attribute shapeshift great art symbols are excited, and they are covered with a dense lightning net. A single cultivator kills the monster beast and a team kills the monster beast. Sure enough, there is no shapeshift great art. 2 waves of shapeshift great art were smashed with the shapeshift great art, and the second wave of golden armor bees and wolf head bats were almost completely cleaned. Fast, the left side is responsible for the ground, cast an earth attribute shapeshift great art character, blocking the monster beast. Release the fire attribute shapeshift great art attack again. The right side is responsible for the sky, once again the ice system controls the shapeshift great art character. But the face of Huangtianya and the rest of the 4 Sea Hall cultivators has become more difficult to look at. Because the next monster beast has been constantly coming from all sides, and more than just the monster beast in the air, the monster beast on the ground is also swept like a tide. I have never seen such a scene of the Sihatang cultivator, and suddenly, in accordance with the command of Huangtianya, desperately inspired talisman. Along with the essay of the earth attribute shapeshift great art, the outer periphery of this cultivator stands a wide and thick earthen wall, a stone pillar, a sharp stalagmite, and a great treasure piece of great treasure. Quicksand. Above the top of the head, one side of the shapeshift great art shield is connected, with an amazing chilly motion above it, and the shapeshift great art, which is unaffected by the ice-based origin chi, is constantly ejected from the gap of the shapeshift great art shield. With the excitation of a batch of fire attribute shapeshift great art, the surrounding wide-walled earthen walls, stone pillars, and other objects form a barrier of about 20 feet wide. There are a series of fire walls, a column of fire pillars, and fire cloud fire. From the bottom down, the standard is a sea of fire. The first batch of monster beast great treasures that came in first were burnt into a group of burnt blacks. While the outermost 20 cultivators are desperately maintaining their own divine light screen, they are also constantly stimulating the shapeshift great art and the shapeshift great art, bombarding the monster beast in the sea of fire. Because the number and types of monster beasts are too many, some fire attribute monster beasts are also not afraid of this level of fire attribute shapeshift great art attack, which is like a broken bamboo. However, because the monster beast above level 5 in Heaven's Dome is very rare, there is very little level 5 monster beast among the monster beasts. The monster beast that was rushed over at the time was basically all killed in the barrier of more than 20 feet. But there are so many monster beasts coming in. For almost a moment, the walls and houses of Pagoda Tree Village have been collapsed by the monster beast, and the pale treasure half, around the Pagoda Tree Village, is a head-on shadow. At this point, there is no need to direct Huangtianya. The cultivator responsible for the ground must have inspired a shapeshift great art character from time to time to avoid the pores of the great treasure. The cultivator responsible for the sky is also the shapeshift great art and the shapeshift great art that must constantly stimulate the great treasure range control. There are more than 40 cultivators in Sihatang, and the lowest is the cultivation base of Divine Sea Realm 4th layer. The shapeshift great art has at least 600-700 characters. The hands of more than 10 heavenly circuit realm cultivators are thick. Stack. But under this lust shape, 120 shots and 120 shots, the shapeshift great art symbol is very consuming. Food fire great treasure stone lizard. Stone armor. With a cultivator screaming out of the surging sound, only the monster beast group that came in, the 2 monster beasts appeared again. Level 4 mid-level the fire treasure is a kind of scale covered with red giant treasure stone, which can swallow the fire, and instead compress a kind of monster beast. Level 4 low-grade stone armor, The shape looks similar to the wild boar, but the earth attribute origin chi will continue to form thick rock armor on the surface, plus this monster beast is amazing, in when the ground rushes, it is often like a giant grey treasure moving stone. I saw these two monster beasts join the siege, a strip of fire chi was quickly swallowed, and the stone armor beasts directly hit the barbaric situation, almost a moment, the outer can slightly block the earth wall, stone pillars and other things were smashed and shattered. Don't fire attribute talisman again. Kill these stone armor beasts first. Huang Tianya a surging sound the horror of the great treasure called, and also grabbed a white talisman inspired. I saw this talisman provoked, and a dozen of grey treasure pieces in front of the stone armored beast that had been pushed all the way, all of them instantly formed a thick white ice blanket. The beasts are not stable, and they are rolling together and hitting each other. Ah! The outer circle of cultivators, also each of them shapeshift great art, desperately bombarded these emerging fires, the great treasure stone lizards and the stone armor. Stopped. No animal tides are coming again. Suddenly, a cultivator was surprised to call the surging sound. I saw that the forest of the distant secret place stopped the turmoil, and there was no rush of the monster beast. My shapeshift great art is running out. I have no more. But after a while, a surging sound was called again. Under the amazing speed of consumption, one of the shapeshift great art characters and the consumable shapeshift great art in the hands of the heavenly circuit realm cultivator warn. At this time, there is no new monster beast in the mountains of the secret place, but within the range of Pagoda Tree Village, it is full of monster beast, which seems to have thousands of heads. Pa! 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 Only a little and a half of the cultivator's shapeshift great art character is exhausted, and the great treasure range controls the firepower all the way. The various monster beasts have already rushed to the front of the outermost cultivator and started the formal short-term connection. Just a face-to-face, two cultivator spirit light was smashed and screamed to the ground. This is not good. Huang Tianya at first glance, screaming again and again, just gather the shapeshift great art shield on top, just like a turtle shell, just let the monster beast impact in the air above, all the cultivators struggle to kill the surrounding monster beast. Under this lust shape, as long as the iron barrel array is broken, all the people are dead and dead. In the case of the shapeshift great art's exhausted lust, the attacking monster beast has only been able to rely on various shapeshift great art. Monster beast's armor, claws, and inspired shapeshift great art powerful energy can impact a variety of shapeshift great art and shapeshift great art shields. Every dozens of splendid light rushed out, while killing a monster beast, there were always 7 or 8 shapeshift great art pieces being shattered, or being thrown away by the spirit light great treasure. The current lust shape is completely exhausted. After killing these monster beasts before the shapeshift great art and shapeshift great art shields are exhausted, the cultivators of the 4 seas will eventually win, and the shapeshift great art and shapeshift great art shields will be consumed. However, if the monster beast of the great treasure batch is not killed, the end of the cultivator of Sihatang will be very miserable. Their shapeshift great art has been completely consumed. Seeing the explosions and brilliance of the various great treasures in the Pagoda Tree Village disappeared, Wei Suo and others immediately understood what was going on. Looking far away, it is clear that there are often several offensive shapeshift great art and shields that have been hit by the monster beast. Great treasure. After a few minutes of incense, the attack on the shapeshift great art and the shield has obviously damaged the great treasure half, but the peripheral monster beast has many more. Boom! After a while, the entire Pagoda Tree Village turned out to be a variety of brilliance great treasures, and all the cultivators began to work hard to inspire all kinds of powerful great treasure shapeshift great art. In Wei Suo's opinion, I am afraid that as long as 1 or 2 stick of incense time, these cultivators of Pagoda Tree Village will be completely unable to hold on. The lust shape of the present is just a return to light, because the more powerful the great treasure shapeshift great art, the more intense the consumption of true yuan. But what surprised him was that after a full amount of stick of incense, all kinds of brilliance and roaring did not seem to be much weakened. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 171. A flash of aura flashed, and Wei Suo, Nangang Yuking, and Han Wei appeared in a teleportation circle outside the moon city nearest to Kixing City. All three people's faces are pale and look dizzy and disgusting. This is the result of the long-distance teleportation circle being excited when the aura fluctuates too much, impacting the monk's consciousness. Although the distance between Kixing City and Luyu City is only 7,000 miles, this is not the teleportation circle of the farthest mile, but it is such a teleportation circle that the three people still can't bear it. Before Han Wei traced the monk to 7-Star City, both the monk and Han Wei used Luyu City as a springboard, rested in Luyu City for a day, and then rushed to Kixing City. Otherwise, if you pass 2 teleportation circles at this distance in a day, monks of the same level as Wei Suo will have a headache and spit out as soon as they are out of the circle. Afterwards, the damage to the consciousness must be rested for at least a half-month to recover. And that's why Wei Suo wanted to get the ancient charmer. I saw that although the three of them were all unwell, Wei Suo quickly sacrificed his ugly white jade crane magic weapon, carried the three of them, and penetrated into the mountain forest outside the moon city. After flying more than 100 miles to the west, Wei Suo made the flying talisman fall. Then we saw that Wei Suo took out something that looked like a green token and placed it behind a rock. After that, he sacrificed a nondescript white jade crane non-stop and carried the three people to the west to the mountain forest. After a while, they disappeared without a trace. After about 2 hours of incense sticks, a giant bird of gold suddenly swept from the direction of the magic circle that Wei Suo and others first sent. This golden bird is shaped like an eagle, and its feathers are as shiny as gold. Especially the golden light on the 2 wings is the strongest. When flying, a pair of paws are surrounded by thunder, and it is a 4-level high-level golden-winged thunderbird. Only the ordinary gold-winged thunderbird is only 2 feet long, but this gold-winged thunderbird is only 3 feet long. It is obviously an advanced elder-level gold-winged thunderbird. And a pair of saddles sitting on the back is wearing a hollow gold armor. Ordinary beast bags cannot accommodate monsters as large as watermark green cows, and Wei Suo's spirit control can only control a monster. But there is a blue watermark green cow in the heart, and a gold-winged thunderbird. It shows that the largest beast control gate in the southern part of the Tianqian continent is the Spirit Beast Palace. It not only has a beast control bag that can hold large monsters, but also can be guarded. The secret technique to make more than 2 monsters. The golden-winged thunderbird, who had an extraordinary appearance, circled slightly, and then fell behind the rock where Wei Suo hid the green token. This guy is too careful. This inner disciple obviously does not have any prohibition on the semaphore, and only my advanced gold-winged thunderbird can track the breadth of the gargoyle wood of the semaphore itself. He will also have scruples and will be thrown here. Office. Originally, I just saw him with good qualifications. At this age, Zhou Tianjing's threefold cultivation practices, I really want to accept him as a spiritual disciple. He is so careful that now this guy has reached this point, maybe there is nothing in his body. Big secret. He deliberately cast that second-order cloud and mist sign, it seems to be to cover up some secrets on him. I am more interested in him now. After picking up the 2 chaotic rocks in the back of the rock, engraved with the green token marked by the head of the animal, Xuanhuan lowered his head and murmured a few words, and then he threw a gold-winged thunderbird into the sky. The forests along the surroundings seemed to be searching, and after a while, they disappeared into the sky. At this moment, if Wei Suo could hear Xuanhuan's words, there would definitely be a cold sweat. Because although she knew almost nothing about Wei Suo, she made inferences. After replacing the general loose repair, it may be tempting to join the sect gate like the Spirit Beast Palace, but Wei Suo has a baby like the old man in the green robe, but he does not want to have anything to do with the Spirit Beast Palace, otherwise it will be repaired by the sect gate. To discover secrets for powerful monks, it is extremely normal to kill people and seize treasures. In addition, Wei Suo didn't know much about Xuanhuan, but he didn't believe in Xinlan. He was afraid that Xinlan would do anything. So, although he couldn't see the mystery of the inner disciple token that Xinlan gave him, but he was extremely careful and left here. As for when casting the cloud of fog when playing with Tianfengzi, Wei Suo is to not expose his own strength as much as possible. After seeing that Tianfengzi had the magic weapon for attacking and defending with magic order in hand, Wei Suo didn't use any of the goods at the bottom of the box, which was definitely not working. After considering it again and again, Wei Suo decided to use Qin Lao Wei Xianyin Beiyi's consciousness shock to solve Tianfengzi. This Xianyin treasure garment, which has now replaced Wei Suo's restructured vest, has been worn in Wei Suo's green cloth shirt. In order not to let people see that he was inspired by the consciousness of Xianyin Beiyi, Wei Suo also deliberately circulated the true element, revealing his 8 divine Cs, so that all the monks present thought he had a missing thorn such magical impact spells. The consciousness of Zhou Tianjing's triple monks was originally stronger than Zhou Tianjing's 2 folds. With Wei Suo's blow, Tianfengzi split his head directly, without any counterattack, and did not cause any monks' doubts. And the cloud that covers Wei Suo has another intention, that is, to prevent the monk present from discovering that he is a monk of Xuanlingan. Because if there is no such cloud, when the true energy is flowing, the 2 spirit roots are out of phase, but they must also be clearly exposed in the eyes of all monks. The spirit light of the different phases of the spirit roots is not as strong as the sea of gods. Wei Suo is just calculated. The clouds and mists excited by this second-order cloud and fog symbol block his 2 different phases of spirit roots, but the monks can see him in 8 groups. The purple light looming out of Shanghai. For Wei Suo, the less exposed at the bottom of the press box, the greater the chance of escaping into a small life when a powerful enemy is encountered. He can be said to have concealed this matchup with Tianfengzi this time. I just didn't expect it to be blue, but instead he doubted him and became more interested in him. Just over an hour later, a thick-browed monk and a burly Tsingyi man walked into the city of Luyu. The size of Luyu city is almost the same as that of Lingyu city. The difference is that Luyu city is built in a valley of 2 mountains, and there is a crescent-shaped lake on one side of this valley. Looking around, it seems that a crescent fell in this valley, and the name of the city is Luyu. The 2 monks seemed to be familiar with Luyueshan. Without any detours, they walked straight to a store in Lingdanfang in the south market of Luyueshan. And as soon as they saw the 2 monks entering, the 2 shop assistants in the shop looked at each other, and immediately ushered forward. One of the slightly chunky shop assistants whispered to the 2 monks. After the sentence, they directly led the 2 monks into a quiet room behind the shop. A moment later, a yellow-robed monk with a yellow face and the 2 monks, as well as an old man wearing a Xuanhuan suit, looked like a shopkeeper, and walked out of the quiet room together. At the moment, the 2 monks have put on the clothes of the shop clerk. The 4 went into a quiet room dedicated to alchemy in the shop again. After a short while, only the waxy yellow-robed monk and the shopkeeper's old man came out. The 2 had just arrived at the moon. The monk who was near the city stayed in the Dan room. The yellow-robed monk with a yellow face and the old man in the shopkeeper talked a few words. It seems that after asking some things, the old man in the shopkeeper walked towards a warehouse to deal with the things in the store, and the waxy yellow-robed monk walked out of the shop. But just as he walked out of the store, a beautiful girl with a yellowish melon face wearing a light yellow dress just walked into the store from outside the store. When she saw this beautiful girl with a yellowish yellow face, the robed monk froze, Yeguwei. Wearing a pale yellow shirt, there was a trace of worry in the eyes of the delicate female nun who was also dumbfounded. He looked at the yellow-robed monk who spoke to himself for a while, and wondered, "Senior, have we met before? How do you know my name?" "I'm Wei Suola." Seeing the waxy yellow robes, the monk quickly stepped forward and whispered quickly in her ear while the Kingzio nun had not subconsciously panned back. "I purposely dressed up like this." "Wei, brother," Kingzio Xiu froze at once. The yellow-robed monk with a waxy face immediately took out a piece of fish-shaped communication jade symbol and shook it in front of Kingzio's eyes. At this moment, there was a look of surprise on Xiu's face. "Brother Wei, why are you here? This is the property of a friend's family. Let's talk about it inside. Nangong Yuking is also inside. Your elder brother Yes Yaozheng, why didn't you stay with you? In fact, Lingdanfang is the treasure house in Luyu City. A shop. The reason why Wei Suo is here is that he has done a lot of calculations in his heart. Now that Wei Suoguang is the opponent on the bright side, there are his Jinjiu Palace and Danjiao Resort. Considering that it is not necessarily safe to return to Lingyu City, Wei Suzuo seeing Let Zhu Xiaokun and Zhen Chongming both I also rushed over to prepare to practice in the Lingdanfang of the Moon City, and raise my Zixuan Genzi to the prefecture level. Anyway, according to Wei Suo's prediction, as long as more than 200 pieces of Tian Dan, the maximum time is about 20 days. But now that 2 maps are in hand, and that set of Lingwu array flags can also be said to remind Weizhuo, since living in the city is more likely to reveal whereabouts, it is better to open a cave house outside. Anyway, if there are immortel and heartworm, it is not particularly dangerous to build a cave house in the safer area shown on the map. Now Wei Suo's complete plan is to first practice the Moon City and upgrade the Zixuan Genji to the middle level of the prefecture level. Then he will directly find a suitable place, try to build his own cave house, and then go to the Lonja Cliff, see if you can get that golden ginseng, then go out to the door again, go to Kafeng City. If you can really get 200,000 inferior spirit stones according to the mother-in-law, then Weizhuo might be being able to retreat can impact Zhou Tianjing's 5-fold, and even divide the period of cultivation. Right now, Wei Suo originally asked the shopkeeper of Lingdanfang, and then went out to buy some materials for cultivating heartworms and refining bullet in Tiandan. At the same time, I saw if it was possible to buy some protective shields for Dongfu. But it just hit Yeguwei. These were unable to explain with Yeguwei at the moment, plus the inconvenience of speaking outside. Wei Suo was originally prepared to let Yeguwei call Yes Yaozheng to narrate the old together. After all, this Ye family's siblings are also his life and death. By the way, in King Fengaling, these 2 people also gave their lives to help themselves. But what Wei Suo did not expect was that when he asked Yes Yaozheng, a layer of mist suddenly appeared in Yeguwei's eyes. My elder brother. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 172. Chapter 172 Divine Fire Crazy Pitchfork. Second, ask for the red ticket. Without the suppression of the white-robed cultivator Great Treasure Range control, the situation of Sihatang suddenly became extremely unfavorable. Just in the twinkling of an eye, a few fireballs spurred by a phoenix firecracker hit the chest of a black-robed middle-aged cultivator, directly breaking through the chest, and the black cultivator just issued a surging sound scream, and immediately there is no surging sound. Senior. Seeing that this side of the party is obviously observant, Huang Tianya's face is extremely ugly. After biting his teeth, the great treasure surging sound is called surging sound. The uncle under the age is the elder of Eastern Jade Paradise Li Xiahua. Please see the seniors. On the share of Eastern Jade Paradise, leave a lust. I have already taken a few of the monster beast's naked body as a cover, and slowly exited Wei Suo, a few feet away from the right rear. When I heard the words of Huang Tianya, I suddenly felt a glimpse. However, he did not have any indications. After withdrawing 2 or 3 feet, he stopped behind a monster beast. Huang Tianya and Xuanhuan wandering monk and others looked at the 4 secret places and screamed. After hearing no echo, Huang Tianya and Great Treasure Surging Sound called, as long as the predecessors no longer shoot, the monster beast and other places here. Things, we are all left to the predecessors. After that, I saw that there was still no reaction around. Huang Tianya made a color to the wandering monk and others. I saw a group of cultivators, and I moved all the way, trying to break through. But what makes these people look blue is that no matter where they move in that direction, the remaining monster beasts are chasing where they can't escape. Fight. Self-explosive Xianyan Fiend Dan. Huang Tianya naturally didn't know that because she and the Golden Ring Wandering Monk and others were contaminated by Sky Cloud essence, it was only because the other party refused to give in, and still drove the monster beast to storm. The face changed a bit, and I saw Huang Tianya gnashing his teeth, and the two glamorous female cultivator commands that followed the haze. Uspand, upon hearing Huang Tianya's fee-urging sound command, the two female cultivators trembled and there was no trace of blood on his face. Just abolish the cultivation base, you can recultivation, and then not blue, we are all dead in this secret place. Seeing the two women hesitating, Huang Tianya's face was distorted, extremely sturdy and surging sound, quickly smash Yan Fiend Dan. Otherwise I will kill you immediately. /P. Two female cultivators see no shape-shift great art, a bit of a stunned face, I saw two blue core beads violently spinning in the air, shot into the most dense secret place of the monster beast, followed by a surging sound. A violent explosion came. Two blue core bead bombs, I saw two groups of chilly blue chi flame blasted, the powerful energy of surging sound changed Wei Suo's face. This powerful energy seems to be more than the phosphorus. The bone sword is still more than a few times stronger. The 7 or 8 phoenix crows that were close to each other were directly blown up. The phoenix crows in the scattered blue chi flame volume are also stumbling like drunkenness, without shapeshift great art stimulating shapeshift great art. The power of great treasure. What is shapeshift great art? So strange, even I have never seen it. Green-robed old man saw such a lust scene, and it was also called wow. While the two blue core beads exploded, the two female cultivators were also squirting blood from the mouth, and the face was grey and fell to the ground. Huang Tianya didn't even look at the two female cultivators at the moment, and the blue-black yin qi in her hand rushed out again. The condensed ghost swept away and caught all 5 or 6 staggered phoenix firehawks in their hands. With a pinch, these phoenix firecocks have no breath at all. The great treasure is the most phoenix firecracker, and the remaining cultivator of Sihatang has the upper hand, but a surging sound, and a cultivator's throat secret place, has no holes to break a hole. This cultivator is a young cultivator who had previously stood on the wall and hated the monster beast. Where is the mouse generation? There is a skill to come out, and the light treasure is a battle with me, only to hide from the sneak attack. What a hero! When Wanding Monk saw this lust scene, he couldn't help but scream. Hey, but almost at the same time he issued this surging sound scream. It was a surging sound and it was uploaded on his body, but this time it was not the terrifying stealth shapeshift great art, but it seemed to be a scattered group. Transparent ripples. Andering monk, Xuanhuan, almost immediately screamed with his head in pain. The golden Zen wand in the air also lost its reliance, spirit light great treasure lost, and suddenly fell. Divine consciousness shock, /P. Huang Tianya just exclaimed surging sound, and on the forehead of a heavenly circuit realm cultivator, there was a blood hole. After that, this invisible shapeshift great art is as if the pin is surging sound. The monster beast in the field immediately took the upper hand. At this moment, Huang Tianya has been thoroughly seen. The other person cultivator, who hides in the secret place, is not in a hurry. He always keeps a situation where the monster beast is slightly stronger than them. They and the monster beast fight together. Senior. My uncle Li Xiahua is already a cultivator of the Thought Division Realm 5th layer. It is inevitable to promote the Golden Core cultivation base. Please consider it. /P. Predecessors may not see these low-grade monster beasts, but I am Mystic Fiend Great Technique. Shapeshift Great Art is the heaven-level great art. As long as the predecessors can spare me a life, you can take this Mystic Fiend Great Technique. Shapeshift Great Art is dedicated to the predecessors. /P. Seeing that Wandering Monk had no divine consciousness shocks against Shapeshift Great Art, Huang Tianya thought that Wei Suo was the cultivation base far exceeds their high-level cultivator, and immediately pleaded for mercy. Even level speech shift Great Art, /P. Wei Suo, standing behind a monster beast, snorted and continued to look at a surging sound. Heaven level the shapeshift Great Art is indeed attractive enough, and Huang Tianya shows the power of this sinister ghost. Wei Suo is also seen by the eyes, but Wei Suo does not think that after talking with Huang Tianya, he will have what a good day. Eat the great treasure, the cultivator that did not retaliate back. Wei Suo has not encountered this life. Without any echo, a cultivator around Huang Tianya who has been using the shapeshift Great Art shield on both sides is unsettled. After suddenly igniting a divine light screen, the cultivator flew out directly. It seems that I want to rely on the protective energy of the two sides of the shapeshift Great Art shield and the divine light screen to see if I can escape independently. This place. The 4 cultivators of Sihatang see this, and when they are a little bit, they can't help but smash the great treasure. However, their urging sound began, Huang Tianya's eyes were fierce, and the black yin chi burst into the air. Kaka surging sound directly broke the divine light screen outside the cultivator. The cultivator was smashed to the ground. Then the black ghost claws grabbed the two sides of the shapeshift Great Art shield. When the cultivator landed, it was already in the black and green, and the 7 bleeds died. Huang Tianya's Dao technique shapeshift Great Art, the power is indeed far above the general spirit level low-grade shapeshift Great Art Great Treasure. And when the two sides of the shapeshift Great Art shield were caught back, the green and black hands of Huang Tianya's face flashed again, and it turned out to be a catch. All the cultivators except the golden ring wandering monk were all breathed. No, even 2 female cultivators are no exception. Huang Tianya, you are doing what? Wandering monk has just recovered from the headache of the divine consciousness and burned it in the crack. When I saw such a lust shape, I suddenly screamed incredulously. There are too many people, but they can't be defended by these shapeshift Great Art shields. Instead, they are killed one by one. You control these shapeshift Great Art shields, and I will completely protect them. I will try to apply shapeshift Great Art. This way we are likely to have a way to live. /P. Between Huang Tianya and a surging sound sternly shouted, the two sides of the shapeshift Great Art shield that was caught back immediately ignited and blocked their front and back. Wandering Monk suddenly woke up and ignited the other 2 perfectly faced shapeshift Great Art shields, encircling them both left and right. It was only a moment when the Golden Ring Wandering Monk was specifically responsible for the defense, and Huang Tianya's black claws kept grabbing, and it seemed that the remaining monster beast had to be cleaned up. But at this time, a group of fierce golden light, just in front of the 2 people in front of a group of virtual void place suddenly light up. With this golden light, Huang Tianya and Golden Ring Wandering Monk faintly saw a transparent figure. This transparent figure, in their eyes, is simply the most terrifying demon. After that, the 2 couldn't see anything clearly, because the piece seemed to be a forked golden light, and suddenly it appeared as if the 6 groups of hot sun had emerged, so that their eyes were as painful as a fire, and they could not open. Ixyang Divine Fire Pitchfork, /P. Just as Huang Tianya issued a surging sound and an incredible screaming surging sound, I saw a golden flare hitting a shapeshift Great Art shield in front of the Golden Ring Wandering Monk. The golden shapeshift Great Art shield, which was not completely destroyed under the impact of many times in the level 4 monster beast, was easily torn directly like a piece of paper. At this moment, a raging blue-black yin chi spewed out, condensed a black claw, and grabbed the golden light. Huang Tianya made an accurate judgment through divine consciousness under the lust shape of binoculars. But almost at the same time, a surging sound of, quote, a transparent ripple in his head blasted, Huang Tianya's entire naked body suddenly bowed, and issued a screaming surging sound. The unrecognized black claws are like a white butt ablation. In a moment, a golden treasure is burned out by a golden fire. Immediately, this golden fire hits the body of wandering monk. The fire is just a flash, the golden ring. Wandering monk was just screaming, and the whole body was burned to ashes. While being hit by divine consciousness and the naked body arched like a shrimp, Huang Tianya forced the jade talisman to take out a light cyan and wanted to crush it all at once. But almost at the same time, in the rear of a pile of monster beast corpse naked body, also leaped a completely transparent shadow, once again issued a transparent ripple, impact on his head. Huang Tianya's naked body is fierce. A surging sound of, quote, a cloud light emerged from his spirit, and the whole body was slightly twitched, and he fell to the ground with no breath.